Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to watch a new video from Dr. Phil on the topic of marital disagreement. So let's just start right away and see what I have to say.
I think couples have the wrong goal when they disagree. When you have a disagreement, your goal should not be to win the argument.
So we're starting by identifying what's the goal of the argument. What are we trying to achieve with this conflict? He's saying the goal should not be to win the argument. The conflict is not a debate. You're not being a judge or a philosopher or a detective or someone that's trying to find the truth between two sides in an argument. But that's the illusion that we have when we're inside the conflict. But the problem is that's not going to work. And if you think back on conflicts that you have had, I'm pretty sure 90% of it, you can see that this is just never how it ends up going. We want to be right, we want to feel like we are in the right position and we're winning an argument, or that we understand the truth and the other person doesn't see the truth and they're wrong. But in reality, it never works out like this. So I think this is a very good introduction. So I think I've got a pretty good idea of what he's gonna go with, and so we're gonna see it together.
The goal should be that you want your partner to understand how you feel and then be willing to leave it with them.
We started by saying this is not a debate that we're trying to win on our side. And so what is it if it's not that? Well, we're trying to give our feelings and our emotions to the other person. And not only that, but he insisted we are letting it sit with them. So we're not trying to go rapid fire and to throw it at them. We're telling them our feelings, our emotions about what's happening, and we're letting it sit with them so that the other person can take it in and digest it and see how they feel about how you feel, etc. And of course, in both directions. So the other person also tells you how they feel and their emotions, and then you can think about that and have it in you and in your brain, and you can figure out how you feel about how they feel and take perspective, etc., which is much more conducive to actually resolving the problem versus the approach of I am correct and I have figured out the truth and I have to explain to the other person why they're wrong. The problem is with this approach is that you're not resolving a conflict, and you have this illusion that you're trying to resolve a debate, but you're not in a debate situation. You're having a conflict, and at the source of the conflict are feelings and emotions. This is a much more productive approach, and it makes much more sense because we're taking something that's on the emotional level and we're addressing it with emotions, which is what's going to lead to progress in the conflict.
Do you want your wife to walk away feeling like a loser?
I don't.
You're wanting him to go do things that you want him to do. Do you want him to feel like he has been a loser? You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
You don't want to erode his self-worth and self-esteem.
Correct.
This is just going to take just a couple of minutes, okay? First, I want you to look at each other. Don't say anything, just look at each other.
I want to make a short point just discussing Dr. Phil's position here and what he does as the therapist. I'd say that this is a vast improvement on what we've seen on my previous videos with the age gap couple. That was absolutely awful, and he was very on the offense against this couple. Whereas in this video, he approaches it in a much more professional way, and he really has the attitude of a therapist. You can see how he's working with both people. He doesn't try to rile up someone against the other person. He doesn't take sides. He doesn't say you're right and you're wrong. He said to both people, you see, you don't want to be the winner because then the other person is a loser. And you don't want your wife to be a loser, and you don't want your husband to be the loser. So he's taking the same approach with both people in a way that's much more productive and that's much more peaceful, and that's going to give us greater results and actually improve the relationship. So this is great.
It's amazing how little we make eye contact with each other these days. And when I say go, I want you to tell her what I wish you would stop doing because it hurts me. Go.
So we're gonna see what the guy has to say. But the Dr. Phil's question, I think, was excellent. So I think he said, you're gonna tell her what you wish she would stop doing because it hurts you. So that's kind of a textbook question that you would ask people in real therapy. The words are really interesting here. So it's what I wish you would stop. It's not what you have to stop. I'm not giving you an obligation or an ultimatum or telling you you're just forced to, you just have to accept it, you have no choice. I wish you would do it. It's a request, I'm asking you politely. And I wish you would stop it, not because what you're doing is wrong or because you're a terrible person or because you don't know what you're doing. I wish you would stop it because it hurts me. So in my request, I'm telling you about how I feel about your actions, which is much more productive than saying, for example, I wish you would stop it because it's so stupid, it makes no sense. That's unproductive. That's not gonna help the relationship and help the couple progress in the conflict. The wording of the request is very carefully chosen, and I think it's very well delivered by Dr. Fee, who takes a much more relaxed and empathetic approach with this couple. So this is really excellent and enjoyable to watch.
Simone, I wish you would stop bringing up old arguments and disagreements when we're out with friends. It's really embarrassing, and it hurts me to see you angry and upset over and over again. I wish you would stop not noticing when I'm trying to do things for you because I love you.
Okay, Simone, what I wish you would stop doing because it hurts me.
So he gave his answer and it was very well articulated and worded. He understood the exercise. He said, "This is what I wish you would stop doing." So, but he didn't say, you're an embarrassing person. He said, it embarrasses me. So you take responsibility for your own feelings. Instead of accusing the other person, you deliver them to the other person and you let them sit with your feelings. So he understood the exercise and he did it very well, I think.
I wish you would stop dismissing my feelings when I share with you about things that are bothering me. I wish you would stop weren't focusing on being the man and just remember that we are a team.
She understood the exercise just as well. I think this was a very productive, very interesting video, especially compared to the last ones that we watched. And I think Dr. Phil had a good position as the therapist. He worked with both people equally, giving them both opportunities to express themselves equally. So if you learned something, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you onto the next videos. Bye bye.